Okay, so I'm curious, do you use that same technique for all your stretches, the contraction to the release? Is that how your general pattern works, or are there other things we should be doing?
So it's actually a really good question because what I like to say is that the answer to every question about stretching is it depends. So it depends on a lot of things. You know, the type of stretching you use, it will depend on what we want to achieve. It'll depend on the person that I'm actually working with. So the technique that I showed before where you contract against the stretch, that's referred to as PNF stretching. It stands for proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. Sometimes it's just called the contract relax method. And that's an extremely good type of stretching. It's actually founded in therapeutic use. And it's an extremely good form of stretching for improving flexibility and range of motion. So for most people, that's the goal. And that type of stretching is by way and afar the best type of stretching for achieving that goal. Now, if your goal is something else, if you're, you want to maximize your performance, so you want to warm up properly before sport and exercise, then you would use a different type of stretching. So it's not that, one type of stretching is better than another type of stretching. There's about 9 different types of stretching in total, and all of them have their advantages and disadvantages. Like I said, some are more beneficial for warming up and sports performance. Others are more beneficial for rehabilitation and recovery from injury, and others are more beneficial for improving range of motion. So it really comes down to, like I said before, it depends. So we need to look at, what we want to achieve, what goals we've got, and then we can match the right type of stretching to, the person we're working with and what we want to achieve.
Great. So I'm going to assume maybe the next answer is also it depends, but I'm hoping we might get something specific. So we
Yeah.
got Charles asking, and it was on my mind too, Charles. How long should we be holding a stretch for? And I would say, Charles, what's your goal? Is that the right question to ask, right?
Yeah,
What's your
yeah,
goal,
yeah, you've got
right?
it. So I mean, if Charles wants to, put his goal in the chat comment, that's great. But for the moment, I'll just assume that that the goal is to improve flexibility and range of motion. Now, if that's the case, we want to use that PNF type stretching that we were using before. So that's the method for that is to move yourself into the stretch until you feel tension, contract against the stretch for 5 to 6 seconds, repeat that process 2 to 4 times, and then move deeper into the stretch and hold that for about 15 to 20 seconds. So that's when you're using PNF stretching. If you're just using plain old-fashioned static stretching, which is, I think most people are familiar with basic static stretching, and that's where you just get into a stretch position, you move till you feel some tension, and then that's the position you hold. So with static stretching, you want to hold your stretches for at least 30 to 40 seconds. That's going to give your muscle groups time to relax. It's important to focus on relaxing, focus on deep breathing while you're doing your stretches, and that'll encourage the muscle groups to open up and relax and really elongate. But yeah, for static stretching, you're looking at least 30 to 40 seconds. Some athletes will hold those stretches for quite a lot longer, over 60 seconds. The research tells us that after about 2 minutes, you start to get diminishing returns. So it's not really worth holding the stretch for longer than 90 seconds to a minute. So start off with 30 to 40 seconds. If you can build up to 60 seconds, that's a bit of a sweet spot.